YouTube, B Smokehouse back here with you, and today I think we're gonna take a small trip by way of food to Vietnam. Whenever I step into a Vietnamese restaurant, one of the first things I look for is I look for pork. More specifically, I look for that lemongrass marinated pork chop. One of my favorite things to get. Some will give you 2 or 3 smaller pork chops that's been marinated for 24 hours or more, and then they sear it off over hot charcoal or in a cast iron skillet. Today, this is going to be my version of the lemongrass marinated pork chop. I've got some beautiful Duroc pork chops that I found at my local health food store. And first, we're going to get this recipe started by, again, chopping down the #1 star in this recipe. Now there's many other things that's going in this marinade, but lemongrass, oh lemongrass, how I love it, is going to be the star, right? So I've got these bases and I've got other stalks of lemongrass. I keep lemongrass in my freezer and I pull it out as I'm going to use it. So we're going to take this. Let me get you guys closer. I'm going to split it in half. So what I've done so far is I've taken the dried out pieces of flesh on the outside of this off, and it's revealed its moisture. It's also revealed that scent. Smells just like lemon. We're going to bust this down because, again, it's going to be in our marinade. Alright, then we're going to give it a nice chop, a fine dice. Alright, fine dice. You can hear it's still crunchy. That's after it's been in the freezer for the past, I think, 6 months. Give or take. Alright. But the awesome portion of this is that beautiful moisture and juice, that essence that it's giving up. And that's what we're going to want in this marinade. So these, if you didn't know, or if you haven't ever worked with lemongrass, is a bit woody in nature. It's woody. These end portions are pretty soft because, again, they kind of saturated. However, that flavor is still there. I can smell it as I cut it, as I peeled it. My hands are perfumed with this lemongrass flavor. Got 2 whole shallots. Real simple. Can you see that? I'm gonna go in a bad way, right? I have been around the world, not just because of my military service, but I was traveling way before the military. So I'm a foodie. I love food from all around the world. Get this in. Alright. And this is as simple as pulling the strings. I'm going to take my lemongrass and my shallots all in a bowl. We want those juices to come out in this marinade. Alright. Okay, got that. We're going to go in with all of this garlic. Get my fingers in there and get all that garlic out. A lot of garlic. Alright. Again, got some garlic left here on the top. All that's getting in the bowl. To the party. Already, I've got some black pepper, and I've got salt. In this case, I'm using Himalayan pink salt. I've got brown sugar. If you're trying to follow this recipe along, I will have the actual measurements and ingredients down below. I've got MSG, probably about quarter of a tablespoon, teaspoon in. I've got a vegetable oil. And again, this is going to be a marinade for those beautiful pork chops that we have. I've got oyster sauce into the party. All right. And then lastly, I've got honey. Get that in. A lot of the recipes I saw for this says pick one or the other, so I did half brown sugar, half honey. After all, these will get charred off over some charcoal, so I want to ensure that we have that char along. Oh, it smells awesome. It smells lovely. Believe it or not, that fish sauce, you know, a lot of people are scared to use fish sauce. That fish sauce is going to give a nice umami. And it's also going to tamper down, right? Most people think it'll taste like fish. If you're tasting it straight out of the bottle, yes, it tastes like fermented fish because that's what it is. However, over time, it has enzymes in it that also help break down meat, break down those fibers, right? It's a lot of savoriness, umami. Alright, so this is my marinade. Stay tuned. Let me show you what it looks like. Stay tuned. I'm going to get these pork chops prepared, and I'll bring you guys back. Alright, welcome back. So, I've got these beautiful center cut loin chops. Again, I got these from Sprouts. Only thing we're going to do to these, I like them because they got bone in. They got some beautiful fat cap on it. I'm going to get some of that fat cap down. So if you cook pork chops, you always have that cupping action going on. It's because you've got to give that fat a slice. Alright? See what we did there? We sliced it. Right? This will stop it from cupping up, turning up. Having fat left on my pork chops makes for a nicer experience, in my experience, if you will. Alright, so we're going to go down with... Let's see if you can't see that. We're going to go down with some of this marinade. It smells awesome. You would think that fish sauce would be too overpowering. It is not. We're going to go down. Alright. This is the first one. Then, let's go down with a little bit more. I can already smell that lemongrass perfuming. Lemongrass is perfuming this marinade, and that's what you want. The purpose of me doing it this way is I'm just trying to ensure that that marinade has touched all of this protein. Again, that is kind of the purpose of any marinade. Probably could have went in here with some Sprite, however, I don't want to put too many flavors in this where it overpowers that lemongrass. After all, that is the flavor we're trying to chase here. We got large chunks of it, right? That brown sugar, that honey, that fish sauce. And so this is in here. We're gonna get this back closed. Let's see if I got any more marinade left here in the bowl. Into the bag it goes. Now I'm looking to do these either tomorrow. If it doesn't happen, this is a holiday weekend, so I'll do these Monday. Alright, but main thing is to make sure these pork chops got some flavor all the way through. That acidity, that salt, the MSG. The MSG is going to amplify these flavors. And everything else in there, that lemongrass, we're going to make sure these are perfumed through and through before I get them onto my grill. I'm going to let the air out of these and give these a massage to make sure that marinade that you see down there at the bottom is touching or in contact with all portions of the meat. I'll bring you guys back here in a little bit. Beautiful pork chops. Let's give them that massage. Got to be a bit careful. They still do have the bone in them. Don't want that bone poking through this bag. Alright, that's all we're going to do for these. So throughout the time these are marinating, I will come and open the fridge, give these guys a twist, flip them, just to ensure that the marinade is touching every portion of these this protein. Actually, while we're here, make sure we got as much of the air as possible out. Alright, I'm going to get these in a vessel, a bowl, and then they'll sit in the fridge, covered like this, and that marinade will get to work. So those chunks you see, more than likely I won't cook these with the chunks on, because those chunks, I know the garlic's going to burn, the shallots most definitely going to burn. I'm going to try and get all of that lemongrass off, because after a day or two, these will have more than sucked up this marinade. Should be quite delicious. Stay tuned. Alright, here we're looking. These pork chops have been marinated for the past 48 hours, right? So you can see that this pork has taken on this marinade due to the discoloration of the actual protein, right? That's what we're looking for. So that the acid and everything else in that marinade is going to help to soften up or soften the bowl from some of those fibers, right? Making a more tender, juicier product. So I was thinking about going on top of this with some other barbecue seasoning. I'm not. We're gonna leave it as is. I've got my reserve sauce here. I'm going to use as a bit of a glaze once these are about done. Remember, this glaze does have brown sugar in it, so should glaze up quite nicely. We'll be looking for burning. We're going to direct grill these, and stay tuned. I'm waiting on my charcoals come up to temp, get white hot and ashed over. Stay tuned. All right, we're out here at the grill. This is my 22-inch Weber Kettle. This is the shallow version. As you can see, I got some nice, still orange in the middle, but white ashed over charcoals. This is the point to where you want to be at. I've got my pork chops here. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting them down. Shouldn't have to deal with any large flames, right? That's why you want them to be white hot. I may not have enough space to get all these on at once. That's fine. We're going to be playing the flip game anyway. I did not put anything else on these. Remember, in that marinade was a bit of oil. So we're going to get the bone. We're going to get the bone there. And I've got these little pit snacks, right? So because this is Duroc pork, right? I'm not really worried about these drying out, but I do want to get that fat rendered. Oh, this actually smells pretty good already. Alright. I'm going to go in for a bit, clean up my dishes, clean up my utensils. I'll bring you guys back when I give these things their first flip. Stay tuned. Alright, so we've given these chops their first flip. I suppose we got another 3 or 4 flips before I start glazing these and trying to get up off here. So you see this char, that's actually what we're looking for. That's one of the signature items when you get into grilling Vietnamese flavors, Vietnamese proteins, right? Whether it's beef, whether it's pork, that char is essential, right? So there's a hot spot here, so I'm gonna keep an eye on this one closely. However, this is where that fat is. I want that fat to get nice and charred and start to render a bit. Now, I do realize that that fat might not be rendered by the time we are ready to take these off. So if that's the case, I'll show you what I'm going to do. It's absolutely juicy, these pit snacks. Alright, so doing these, if they're sticking, that's fine. You give it a few more minutes. They will unstick themselves. Then you flip it. So this has a few minutes here. We'll flip when a few minutes up. It's actually smelling pretty delicious. I'll bring you guys back. Alright, this is flip number 3. I think we're going to go ahead and glazing. Let's see if I can. Got my glaze here. We're going to set it off to this side of the grill. That reserve marinade. Now, this did come from off of raw meat. However, we still got a few more minutes to cook. And by the time this marinade is soaked up, it should be more than sanitary, right? But in an effort to make sure that these don't dry out, because these still do contain that loin portion, we're going to start basting them, giving them flip, basting, giving them flip. This here is all about the turning game. If you've really done any fast cooking over even still white hot charcoal, it's all about turning. All right. Over here, start picking them up and giving them a flip. I've been touching. I've been using my fingers. All right. So now we're gonna continue back, basting. I've licked my fingers after touching some of these chops. Not now, but you know, a few minutes into this cook. And to tell you that marinade is showing up, showing out. It smells awesome. It smells awesome. So I'm going to give these a few more flips and a few more bastes. I'll bring you guys inside after they have rested for about 5 or 10 minutes. And we'll cut into one and show you what we have. Alright, here's the finished product. Again, this is my Vietnamese lemongrass grilled pork chops. Again, I go to several of my favorite Vietnamese restaurants here where I live. And these are always on my list and on my plate. Smell coming off these is absolutely delicious, right? Let's get into it. The descriptions for this video, or everything that I've done to these pork chops, will be down in the description link below this video. Still moist, still juicy. First of all, let me let you guys, still highly juicy. You see that? Juice is coming out. Get that nice smoky charred flavor. Again, this is my favorite bit to chew on. That's that fat, a little bit of cartilage around that bone. I'm going to go for this end piece because this char. Can you see that? Still fatty, highly juicy. Smells awesome. Let's give it a taste. Oh yeah. Oh, this marinade was really simple. I thought it was simple, so I did not think. I really thought I was going to have to add some other seasoning to these pork chops. Nothing else is needed. That fish sauce comes through. That brown sugar definitely comes through. That lemongrass is a hint of lemongrass after everything's gone. This was really good. It's flavorful, tender, and juicy. Got some grilled bok choy. See that? Really good. Guys, if you haven't done so, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next videos. Stay tuned. Beast Smokehouse out.